Hey everyone, welcome back to Groceries app Part 3 video. So in this video, what we are going to do, we are going to simply create the functionality of what type of functionality I'll tell you. So we are going to create user's account using Firebase authentication. So this will be more interesting video. Please don't skip this video and watch till the end so you will get better understanding. If anyone haven't watched the part 1 video, I have explained in detail. Please go and watch it so you will get better understanding. One more thing, if anyone want to help me, so you can buy me a coffee. I'll provide the link in description. If anyone haven't subscribed my channel, please do subscribe, like and share with your friends. So yeah, that's all for it. Without wasting time, let's start the video. Let's check how much we have done till. So let me open the app. If you see, for first time user, we are showing the splash screen. Later we are directly navigating to sign up screen. And we have built this UI also, right? See these things, but we haven't added any functionality yet. If you see, even if I clicking on this, I'm just printing this press functionality. Okay, nothing but console.log press. Okay, so now first what we are going to do, let me open src and screens, sign up basically, and in fact I'll close this as well. For the first functionality, for creating user, we need email and password. So for this reason, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a use state here basically. Let's take a use state. Let's say user credentials. I'm naming it as user credentials. You can name anything. It's up to you basically. User credentials. So in this, instead of creating for two use states like for email and for password, what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply take an object here basically, and I'll say email. Basically it will be an empty by default, and same for password as well, and this also be empty. Okay, perfect. Right now I'm not taking username here. Okay, but when it comes to further, we'll take username as well. Okay, so what was the first thing we did? Simply we created a use state here by taking, and I have created an object by default, and I took a key as email and password. Okay, so right now for creating user, we need these two only, right? Email and password. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm going to do, this was my email and this will be my password. Who don't know, those who have confusion, మనం అకౌంట్ క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి మనం మెయిన్ గా కావాల్సింది ఈమెయిల్ అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్. వి డోంట్ వాంట్ యూజర్ నేమ్. ఓకే, సో ఫర్ దిస్ రీజన్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఇంప్లిమెంటింగ్ ఎనీ యూజర్ నేమ్ హియర్. లైక్ యూజర్ నేమ్ తో నేను ఏ ఫంక్షనాలిటీ అయితే చేయట్లేదు, నథింగ్ బట్. సో వాట్ ఐమ్ గోయింగ్ టు డూ, ఐ జస్ట్ క్రియేటెడ్ అ యూజ్ స్టేట్ హియర్. యూజ్ స్టేట్ లోపల ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అయితే క్రియేట్ చేసా బై డిఫాల్ట్ గా. వాటి యొక్క వాల్యూస్ ఏంటి, ఈమెయిల్ అండ్ పాస్వర్డ్. అవి కీ అయితే వీటి యొక్క వాల్యూస్ బేసికలీ బై డిఫాల్ట్ ఎంటీ. ఓకే, పర్ఫెక్ట్, రైట్? సో నౌ వాట్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డూ, simply directly go to text input of what was, this will be my password here, I guess. Yeah, this was my password text input and this was my email text input. If you see, email, and this was my text input, right? Email address we have added at this as well. So now what I'm going to do to get the value, before that, to show the value, there's a property called value, and I'm directly pass. Before that, let's do destructuring as well. So instead of every time writing like what do we call, credentials, user credentials dot email, user credentials dot password, instead of this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply take a const here. Directly I'm using email. Directly we have to pass key names here. So what are the names we gave here, we have to pass those names only, exact names basically. Okay, and directly pass the object name here. What was my object name here? User credentials. See, this was my name, right? And let me format this. So we are getting here because we left it as empty. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply pass it as an email. Right now I have to show this email only, right? Property called on change text, so that we'll get the basically not on change text, so that we'll get the exact value. Basically it takes a function arrow. I'm taking an arrow function. I'm simply take e here. Basically you can take anything. I'm going to say value here basically, and value. So in on-chain text, we'll get the value, nothing but. So whatever the user typing here, we'll get the value here. Right now you can't type here. In fact, what I'm going to do, cause here email was empty, right? For this reason you can't type. But if I remove this, let me comment this value, and if I type here, you can see I'm able to type here, right? I hope you got it. Nothing but whatever the value we are getting, we'll be storing this value in email, right? Perfect. So keep it as valve here. So basically on change, like whatever the text we are typing here, those value will be stored in where we need to store. We need to store it in set user credentials. Yeah, we need to pass an object basically, and we need to keep exact as it is, like user credentials. We don't want to change anything here, but we need to change what was the value. We need to change only this value only, right? And we need to add that value valve. I'll explain you. So first thing, value, nothing but we are showing what are the value we are showing, we'll get from here. Okay, email empty. Okay, in on-chain text, what we get was whatever the user types that value, it will get stored directly. We are simply storing that in email here. So till here you got an idea, right? Perfect. Now everyone has doubt like what was the functionality of this thing, user credentials, right? I'll tell you. So how many values we have? Basically here we have two, right? Like two keys, nothing but email and password. Basically this line, I'll explain you this line particularly. So let me open the pane. So consider it as an object, and in this object, how many values we have? Two values. What was those? One email and one password, right? Perfect. So now on change text, what we are doing, we are simply, we all know this set user, nothing but we are updating the value, right? Perfect. So for differentiation, I'll take circle here. Assume that user entered email, and this will be my set user object, nothing but, and user object. So this was my starting object and this was my updating object, right? Perfect. So what we are doing here, basically this was my set user object, nothing but we are updating the value here. So let's assume that user entered email and we are storing it in set user object. So what happens is that whenever we are updating, so basically it will remove this password. So assume that user entered email, okay? And what happens, it simply update that user object basically. Okay, so now what happens is that simply it will remove password here, nothing but. So now how many objects we have? Only email only. How many keys we have? Only email only. Same goes with password as well. Like whenever user password, what we are doing here, we are simply storing this in which object? Like set user object, nothing but. Okay, in set user object we are simply updating this. Okay, so what happens is that, so whenever user update the password, it will simply remove here email basically. Now what we have? Password, but we need two values, right? We need email and also password, right? So for this reason, what I'm going to do here, simply we don't want to touch existing object. We need to update that object, right? So for this reason, I'm using dot existing object plus that whatever the value we need to change, we need to simply pass in that key here, and we need to simply pass in that value, updating value, right? I'll write it as updating value, right? Perfect. I hope you got it. Okay, so that was the line functionality, nothing but. So let me remove this. So what, simply copy this whole thing till from value to on change text, simply copy this and same paste it on password text input basically, and here we need to change password value. We need to pass here password. So in value we'll get basically an update. Okay, so instead of this, what we need to pass here, key as an password, so that we are getting the two values here, nothing but, okay, email and password. See, I can type here. In fact, I'll print as well. If you see, first let me console email only, so that you will get. So what was the initial empty, right? But if I print here, I am gmail.com. See, this was the functionality of font change. Like, however, the text changing, so that it will update that and it will send that value into my user email in this field. Okay, so at the end, this was my and at that email, this will be stored in email. So same goes with password as well. I hope you got it right. Perfect. So first, now what we are going to do, we are going to simply add this project to Firebase. So simply open this Chrome, search for Firebase and click on first link, and simply click on get started. So I repeat, so first we search for Firebase in Google here and clicked on first link, and simply clicked on get started here. Okay, so basically these are my previous project which I have added in Firebase. Okay, so you can't see this thing, cause if it's your first time, then you can't see this anything. Okay, so simply click on add project here, plus symbol basically, and give your any name. It's up to you. I'm giving here grocery basically. You can give any name. Okay, perfect. So simply click on continue and simply untick this enable Google Analytics for this project. We don't want this right now. So simply click on create project. So basically this will take some time. Okay, so yeah, it's done. Our new project is ready. So simply click on continue here. So it will directly navigate it to this page, right? Perfect. So now those who are using React Native CLI, setup will be, Firebase setup will be different comparing to Expo. So if you want how to connect React Native project to Firebase, please comment me. I'll do separate video on that. Okay, so right now I'm using Expo project. So for this reason, those who are using Expo project, so this will be same. So simply click on this web, right? If you see third icon, simply click on this and it will ask a name here. So I'm giving same name, grocery. I'm just giving grocery here, nothing but, and simply click on register app. Okay, we don't want any Firebase hosting here basically. So for this reason, I just clicked on that. So now what we need to add this configuration file in our Expo project. So now what we are going to do first, let's create a file here basically. In fact, I'll create outside, name it as Firebase config. I'm naming it as Firebase config. You can give anything, and extension will be .js only. Okay, make sure. So I have nothing but I have created Firebase config.js, nothing but a file, basic file. Okay, you can name it anything, it's up to you. So simply copy this whole code. We need this whole code, and simply copy this whole code and simply paste it here. Okay, and let's remove these things, this nothing but comment lines. Okay, let's format this. If you see right now, we have did till here. And one more thing, we need to add this package here, Firebase basically. Simply copy this Firebase here, and to install package, so open the terminal. In fact, I'll remove this here basically. Simply type here yarn add Firebase and install this. if you're getting any error like getting like yarn not installed like this, so you have to install yarn here. How to install yarn means simply search for, and there is a command line yarn global install. Simply search and go global install and simply click on this installation here, first link, and this was the line. So simply copy this line and search, open cmd command prompt, nothing but, and simply paste here and click enter. That's it. Okay, I have installed already, so for this reason I'm not doing it, and simply close this. Let's open VS Code here. Okay, it's installing packages, nothing but. So in the meantime, what we are going to do, first simply click on continue to console here. So now click on build and click on authentication. So simply click on get started. So these are the services providing here. We can authenticate, we can create account using Google, Facebook. These are the things, Apple, GitHub, Yahoo, these things. But right now we are using email or password here. Enable it and simply click on save. That's it. If you see, email or password enabled. Okay, perfect. Right now you can see here those who are created account using email or password. You can see those email IDs here. Okay, so basically sign in method, right now we are using email or password only. Okay, perfect. So now what we are going to do, simply reload this. Let me remove this as well. In fact, I'll close this app. Let's reopen the app again. So basically we are getting this here. So what I'm going to do, in fact, I close this emulator and reopen this emulator. Okay, clear. Okay, in fact, even if you also got that error, simply close the emulator and reopen the emulators. Okay, so it will fix it. So first, for authentication, there is a few lines we need to add basically. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply say const authentication. I'm naming it as authentication basically equals get auth, not this. And we need to pass this app here. So here we are getting the app, right? So we need to pass that app here, and let's import that package as well. So let's import this get auth from Firebase auth. Okay, so simply enter get auth from Firebase auth, nothing but. Okay, so make sure that you have to import from Firebase auth. Okay, so we are going to use this authentication in sign up page. So for this reason, I'm going to export this. Okay, export const authentication get auth, and this line we need to pass this app here. Okay, so that's it. Configuration was done. So now what I'm going to do, simply close this firebase config.js file here, and in fact I'll drag this down and close this as well. So on this click, we are going to implement this functionality, right? So for this reason, what I'm going to do, in fact, where this, so sign up, this was my button, right, touchable. So here only we are printing this press here. You see, press console.log, nothing but. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply create a function here, nothing but. What do we call sign up, or I'm going to say user account, nothing but. I just gave in on-press, I just passed the user account functionality. So what we are going to do, we are going to simply create a functionality, nothing but const, in fact, user account basically, and let's pass the const here. And I'm taking an arrow function basically. Okay, nothing but we created an empty function. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, first thing, let's import this authentication, nothing but from Firebase config. So from where we are getting this authentication means we have created Firebase config file, right? So here we are already exporting this. So for this reason, we are getting this authentication. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm going to do, so let's add what do we call, rejects these things and all later. So first let's create the user account. Okay, so for this reason, create user with email and password. So which method right now we are using in Firebase? If you see in sign in method, we are using email and password only, right? So for this reason, I have imported this Firebase create user with email and password, this thing. And in fact, I'll tell you this. Before that, what we are going to do, for simply search for RN Firebase. Basically, this was an official document from React Native Firebase. Okay. So here, so at left side, simply search for authentication. If you see authentication, right? Simply click on this usage here. And for Expo, we have already installed all packages, so we don't need to install any package here. So simply scroll down. If you see email sign in, right? So what we are going to do, simply copy this from dot create user email till here, create user with email, this only. Okay, so in fact I'll remove this and simply paste it here and simply remove this dot here. And we have already imported this create user with email from Firebase auth. Okay, so let me open the emulator here. So now we have to pass email and password. So here we already did destructuring, right? So I'm simply passing those values only. That's it. Email and password. Check is it working or not. So if it works, then user account created and sign in will print. In fact, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna simply say alert dot alert. I'm just simply doing alert, nothing but, so that we'll get notification like. So let's check is it working or not. So let me type here, and in fact you can give any mail, but it has to be in this format only. Okay, I hope you got it. And right now I am typing 3 4 5 6, basically an empty. In fact, I'll click on this as well. If you see, if I click on the sign up, okay, we are getting error. What was the error? Undefined is not a function. Let's check what was the error and let's fix that. What was the error? Let's check. So basically undefined is not a function. Let's check, like did we miss anything? User created, everything was fine. Let's check the values here. That this was also fine. Value, email, password. Okay. So basically we have to pass this authentication as well, right? Here we are setting up get auth, right? So for this reason we are getting error, I guess. Yeah. So let's pass this authentication as well here. Authentication. And let's check now. In fact, I'm gonna reload this app. So simply type, I'm typing my email here, nothing but, and let's pass some sample password. Let me, in fact, I can show you this as well. If I click on sign up here, okay, user account created and signed in. You see, let's check we are getting data or not. So simply go to users here. If you see, I am at Gmail, but this was my email, right? So nothing but user account created. Okay, perfect. So already user account was created, right? So now what I'm going to do, in fact, if existing user try to create his account one more time, what happens? Let's check. Like, is it working or not? Let's try. In fact, I just changed that console.log to alert.alert. We have to import from React Native. Okay. You see, I have imported this as well. And let me click on this as well. Sign up. If you see, this email already, this email address is already in use. So we are getting right. Perfect. It's working. So now what I'm going to do, in fact, I'll remove this at the rate here and let's check is it working or not. If I click on sign up here, see that email address is invalid. Okay, perfect. So we are getting data, and in fact we can delete this user as well. If you see, if you click on three dots here, you can disable this account and you can delete this account as well. Okay, right now I'm deleting this account. So yeah, that's all for this video. So in next video, what we are going to do, we are going to simply login user and we are going to simply build this UI, login UI. And if you find this interesting, please do subscribe, like and share with your friends. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in next video.